You're leading a group of adventurers, or your character is. You've been traveling for a few days. This could be a woodland encounter. So let's say we're going through the woods. We come into a clearing. Now, the features of this clearing, let's say it's about 30 feet in diameter. Off to the right is this large wooden statue covered in vines and moss of a 5-headed Hydra.
Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. And we're going to talk about how to make your Hydra more fun and interesting in your game of Dungeons & Dragons. But before we do that, let's get everybody to introduce themselves. Denny.
Hi there, my name is Denny Dicely. I run the Dicely D&D YouTube channel, and I also run a podcast called Speak Dicely, where Wally's been on the channel, so go check out that podcast episode, and we just talk about Dungeons & Dragons.
I'm Steely. I do D&D lore shorts, and I run modules, live stream modules.
Hey folks, Wally DM here, and I have a YouTube channel that's focused on puzzles and traps.
Thank you. In fact, I don't think that any of those puzzles you've ever put out on your channel I've ever been able to figure out.
We're going to test that today, Fred, because I have something for you. And I want everybody's got to be quiet when we do this, because Fred's got to be able to he's got to be able to answer first. So I want to see what he does. And then we'll help him.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I've got a D20 here if I have to make an intelligence check to figure out your puzzle. Anyway, Denny, what have you got for us for the Hydra?
All right. So anybody unfamiliar with Hydras, they're quite common in pop culture. They're this crocodilian, serpentine, multi-headed monster where if you chop off one of the heads, it's going to grow two more in its place. And what I've got for the Hydra creature here is a trivia riddle dungeon with an intelligent Hydra as its final boss. So you have your party walk into this first chamber, and on the opposite end, there is this sealed door. And on the roof of this place, there is a dark pool of water that is just anti-gravity, like up there, and it's not dripping down, it's not falling down. And upon entering the chamber, a voice rumbles through the place, and it vibrates that pool above. It explains that the players are going to need to answer some questions or riddles, whatever the DM decides, to move on to the next chamber. And the voice will warn the players, if you fail to get these questions correctly, facing the Hydra at the very end is going to be a lot more difficult. So say the players do get a question wrong. Suddenly that pool of water at the top of the chamber is disturbed and a massive shape falls to the floor with a thud. And lying on the floor now is a head of a Hydra ripped free from the body. For each question that your players get wrong, the Hydra will remove one of its own heads, adding to its own head total by the final chamber.
That's evil. Yeah. That is very evil. I was thinking Sphinx for a second there when you started talking about answering different riddles, but now I understand just how nasty that is. And considering how difficult riddles are to answer, that's a pretty tough situation. What have you got for us, Sam? You got something that can match that?
Ooh, I don't know. I love the idea of a boss getting harder based off of the answers of the results of a previous puzzle. That's amazing. That's great. What I have is a curse. I like the idea of a Hydra applying a curse or some sort of debuff. After fighting a Hydra, you get applied. So the Hydra's unique ability of like losing a head and growing two more is something really cool that you could apply to something else with a curse. So maybe they don't know it right away, but if they ever lose a head, they get two heads. Like if you apply this curse to a party member or an NPC, then if they lose a head, they get two heads. And I really like extending that further to limbs. Like they lose a limb, they get two more, or a leg, they get two more. So the Hydra curse would be my answer to that one.
I have a question. I do have a question. I think the others are wondering too, and that is those replacement heads, are they replacement heads that look like their original head, or are they the replacement heads that look like Hydra heads?
Well, I was going to go with the original, but I mean, Hydra heads. I was going to go with the original, like kind of like an Etten. Just now you got to deal with two heads. They argue.
Ooh, if you took it the other way and did it more Hydra, is this kind of like an alternate route to becoming Yuanti or something?
Yeah, the perfect form. Multiple heads
Wow.
and arms.
I'm liking where this is going.
We're creating new lore.
Or what happens? You wind up eventually becoming a Hydra yourself, just a different type.
Hydra. Okay. I too have brought a puzzle to this, and I'm going to give my answer in a little bit of a different fashion. So I'm going to concentrate on Fred first because Fred has a hard time answering my puzzles. So I'm going to present this to him. I'll set a timer and then we can let everybody answer if we want to. But I'm confident Fred's going to get this. Okay. So picture this, if you will, Fred. You're leading a group of adventurers, or your character is. You've been traveling for a few days. This could be a woodland encounter. So let's say we're going through the woods. We come into a clearing. Now, the features of this clearing, let's say it's about 30 feet in diameter. Off to the right is this large wooden statue covered in vines and moss of a 5-headed Hydra. Now that's going to be off to your right. Off to your left is going to be more vegetation and vines and trees, but there's an old wooden sign there. And when you go up and you look at this wooden sign, it says, "Here beeth the path of the traveled, in which the 14 eyes of the Hydra gazed." And this sign is directly across from the Hydra. What does Fred's character do in this point?
Well, I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm assuming that 14 has some bearing on this, and with the vines over the Hydra, I'm going to go with remove the vines from the Hydra statue or carving or whatever the heck it is, and see how many eyes that particular Hydra has.
The Hydra, once you uncover it, it looks like the vines and vegetation have been here for quite a while because no one has disturbed it. And when you finally get it all cleared off, you can notice that there are 5 Hydra heads. Each Hydra head has 2 eyes, like
Okay. All right. So that means that there is 10 eyes. So I'm going to assume that I need to lop off 2 heads to make 14 eyes. But before I do that, I want to lop off just 1 head, just in case I really balls things up and I wind up having to fight a Hydra construct made out of wood, which seems like a really bad thing. So, so cut off 1 head.
Your character takes the battle axe, chops down, the head is chopped off, and in its place, 2 heads grow up.
Okay, all right. I chop off another one. That should give me 14 heads, and then hopefully that should solve the problem.
It'll give you 7 heads, equaling 14 eyes, and the path will open in front of you. That is the answer to the puzzle. Very good.
Man, a puzzle I could actually solve. And for those of you who are wondering and believe, I didn't like pause the video or edit out like a half an hour or an hour of stuff. He made it so simple for me that even my little brain could figure it out. Thank God for that, because I would have looked like a complete egg. But there's still time, because it's now my turn to come up with an idea for the Hydra. So I've watched way too many movies about fantasy. And I guess one of the movies that I enjoyed the most was Jason and the Argonauts, and a lot of the old Sinbad movies. And there's a lot of sort of stop motion going on there, which I still love. Even though you can do it better with CGI, I don't think you can, frankly. So I was thinking, what about like a guard dog for a wizard? Wizards have, different places that they do their thing. This is just pulling directly from, I believe it is Sinbad in the Seven Seas. I think it's the Seven Seas. I think it's that movie. They basically have a dragon. I'm going to replace the dragon with a Hydra. I thought that was like a good way to incorporate it. You'd have to have it chained up. Make sure it's a strong chain, because otherwise it's going to eat you when you go to the toilet, have to do your business. The other idea, a little bit better, but also really stupid, and that is, what if you could actually get yourself a Hydra and it not eat everybody that it comes across, and you turn it into a theme park ride. So you can, because you can fit at least 5 little kids up on those things, right? Because there's 5 heads, and then they can just ride around. It's like going for a pony ride, but Mommy, Daddy, can I go for a Hydra ride, please? And away they go. So theme park ride was my suggestion to this.
I love it.
And away they go indeed.
Come back! Come! Oh, he's still going. Oh, hang on. Blow the whistle. You know, the Hydra just left. There's 5 kids gone. Don't even ride that particular Hydra again. Okay, anyway.
All the parents are sitting on the bench texting. They don't even see what's going on.
Be attentive, folks.
I'm imagining the flying saucer, and the Hydra just spins around, and then
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, absolutely. Love it.
Love it.
Cool.
I love it.
Thank you. Look, everybody provided some really good ideas, and so I would like to know what you have come up with for a Hydra. Let us know down in the comments section how you would use the Hydra in a fun, interesting way, maybe weird and strange. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.